or welcome back to Guitalele tutorials. In today's video, we are going to get our first finger picking lesson on Guitalele. If you are as excited as me, just grab your Guitalele and let's get started. Before going into the actual playing session, let's get some things clarified. So, for example, what's finger picking? Finger picking is just another way of playing the chord. So earlier we played chords in strums, right? So where we played all the strings at once. The finger picking is a little different. So here we will play the individual notes of the chords, right? So let's say I'm playing the C major chord in the strum, so down strum, right? Not a big deal. And now let's say we play the finger picking. So what it will sound like now? Okay, so you are playing the notes individually, one by one, right? But yeah, you can play it in different speeds. That's altogether that's basically on the BPM on what you are playing. So on that now, so when we'll be playing these finger picking patterns, when we'll be practicing these finger picking patterns, you can play it with metronome. And I will not show how to use metronome in your practice sessions, because that's something that's very basic and that we already have covered in our the first basic set of the tutorials, right? So you can find that somewhere into this I button. So I'll suggest the same. You start with 60 BPM and then gradually move to 70, 80, 90, 120, something like that. Okay, so those things all stays the same. And one more thing is also that you will not be able to switch chords in your first lesson when you are playing with finger picking, right? Because that's something that your brain needs to adjust now. So like we started with strum. So in our first lessons we were just playing very gradually the chords, and then we are putting strums on top of that, because your brain needs to make the adjustments from left hand, right hand, different coordinations. Here also it goes the same way, right? So your brain first needs to adjust with this new instrument or with this new way of playing. So that's finger picking. You already know the chords, so that knowledge will be applicable. It will take some time. It differs for different people. Okay, so for my case, I am still not that fluent in chord switching along with the finger picking. I tried somewhere around 2 weeks ago. So I am also just playing one or two basic finger picking patterns. So for finger picking, you'll be using these 4 fingers. Okay, so thumb, index, middle and ring finger, right? So they have they also are called as PIMA. For some people, they can use this little finger or the pinky to actually anchor over the body of the guitalele. Some people may not use it. It's basically up to individuals' comfort. So if you want to use it, you use it. If not, if it's making your life difficult, don't use it. There is no hard and fast rule that you have to anchor or you don't have to anchor. And if you need something, so you will automatically adjust your other playing styles according to your comfort. Okay, so these are the things that needs to be talked about before we go into the actual lesson. So now let's start. So we'll be starting with a 3x4 pattern. So it's pretty easy. So I'll just play it once before we go. So it will be thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index. Okay. Okay, so it's something like this. So I'll cover how we are playing that. Okay, so now let's get closer to the guitalele body. So now I have brought my camera closer to the body of the guitalele, and now you can see that I am already placing my anchor of little finger on the sound hole, near the sound hole, so that my other finger stays on its place. So it's basically gets easier for me to play like this, but you can definitely don't use it as well. So you can just use these 4 fingers as I mentioned earlier, right? So yeah, so it's up to you. Check out which one works best for you. Thumb, what we are going to do is that we will be playing the bass string with the thumb, either of the bass string. assume that I am not holding any chord, and I am really not holding any chord at this point. So just for this. So your thumb will have the flexibility, so will you use it to play either of the thickest strings. And if you have gone through my video on chords and notes, so if you have done this practice, so you will be seeing that for playing the chords like C major chord, we will have C note on this, the bass C note on this string. For playing F major chord, we will have F note in this string, and for G major chord we will be having G note on this string. So for C major C, F major F, G major G, D minor D, A minor A. Okay, and what are the D major chord? D major chord also we play. So D major here, D note is here. A major we play A chord here. E minor we talked about, and G minor we talked about. G minor also we play G here. So E minor, for E minor it's a little different case. So E minor we took it from ukulele, and we play the bass note here in the G string here as well for the E minor, but it's not an E chord, E note on the E minor, because it's not the actual Guitalele version of E minor. I just put it into those lessons to fill the gap. So whenever you will be playing songs, so you will not face difficulty to play the song just because you don't know how to play the bar chords. So E minor actually you can be able to play with bar chords that we haven't covered yet. So anyways, so you can still play the E minor chord with this arrangement. Okay, so this was the arrangement we took from the ukulele world. Technically that will be G slash E minor, so we'll be talking about those slashing and all in our next lessons, or in some of our lessons, right? So but for now you can simply just use this G note as the root note for the E minor chord as well. So thumb plays either of these. Right? Index plays the third string, middle finger plays the second string, and your ring finger plays the first string, and pinky either stays like bent like this or plays anchored on the body like this. It's up to you, whichever feels comfortable for you, right? So let's play some chords. So first I'm playing the C major chord, so my C is here. Now I'll play the pattern here. So it will be thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index. Once more, thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index. Okay, now without the names. Or with the Pima version, it will be P-I-M-A-M-I. Okay, P-I-M-A-M-I. That's for the C major chord. Now if we switch to F major chord, here the root note or the bass note is F. We are playing it on 5th string. Right, and the G major chord, so we hold the G major chord here. The G string is the open string, the the 4th string or the 3rd string from the top is the open string, so we play here. Okay, and remember with these finger picking patterns, even if we have multiple root notes, we will be just using the most bassy note or the thickest string here. Like for the C major chord, even if we have these two alongside, we will not play these two. Instead we will just play the bass note or the root C note. Okay, and then the pattern goes like this. Right, and for F major, check out this one as well. The F major, we have 2 bass notes, right? But still we'll just use the 5th string one. So just keep that in mind. So the most bass you can get, you play that with the thumb. That's about how you play the finger picking pattern. So once again, the pattern is this. So it's a nice 3/4 or 6/8 pattern that you can play. Hope you like this video and the pattern that I have shown. Practice it over time and take time to practice the actual pattern first without holding any chord, right? Like this, and then incorporate chords on top of it, and then incorporate chord switches. So it definitely will take you some time, and slowly practice things, because it's completely a different way of playing guitalele. So definitely don't get frustrated, don't get anxious when why am I still not playing. So it takes different amount of time for different people. So hopefully you will enjoy playing this. Signing off.